Robert in Canada, he writes to me and says, I know around the 2000s that the loudness war was a problem. Has it gotten better? Or with the advent of smart speakers like the Google HomePod, has it gotten worse? Has it also gotten worse because of having music streamed over Apple Music and Qobuz? Or does it have anything at all to do with the streaming business at all? Or does it have to do with the way that it was mastered? I don't think it has anything to do with streaming. I would not put the blame for the loudness wars on streaming whatsoever. In fact, the ability to play music by streaming gets rid of the original problem of the loudness wars, which happened to have been FM radio. So all of that started years and years ago, way back in my day, when people used to go across a dial and they would want to find a radio station to listen to. And the one that you could predict they would stop at was the one that was the loudest. And radio stations still to this day use these heavy compressors to be the loudest out there so that you'll choose them. Television stations do the same thing. They want to be the loudest. And over time, record producers did sort of the same thing. And the loudness wars were all a function of wanting to be noticed. You know, part of me, the grumpy old man, get off my lawn, that guy, right? So I'm driving around in my quiet little car, and some kid comes along with his giant truck, and it's making, you know, and I'm like, because I don't like the intrusion of the sound, and I think it's silly. And then I think, you knucklehead, that's a 18-year-old, a 22-year-old, just like you. You know what? I think it's always valuable for us old farts to remember that we were once young guys, and we were roosters or peacocks, you know, wagging our tail feathers trying to show off the louder is better. I mean, I remember, I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. Years ago when I was, 17, 18 years old, I got a chance to take for an hour a GTO, Pontiac GTO. It had 3 twos, which meant, this is back in the day of the carburetors. So a 2-barrel carburetor was like the lowest end, and then the next thing was a 4-barrel, right? And each of these barrels puts in more gas, so the car goes faster. And this thing had 3 2-barrel carburetors on it with a hopped-up engine and progressive linkage, so that when you were to step on the gas, only the first 2-barrel carburetor would take over. You could drive the car kind of normally. But with progressive linkage, when you floored it like that, all 6 of these carburetor barrels would open up, and this thing would just literally get up off the ground and almost dance. Tires spinning. I mean, this was a beast, this thing, and it roared. And I just had the best time. I went around, I could see people shaking their heads, and I was like, well, read between the lines. My granddaughter taught me this one, read between the lines. And I was just a young, cocky, show-off kid. So anyway, how did I get onto that? Oh, the loudness wars, right. So it's that whole sort of thing, like if you want to be noticed, you yell the loudest. If you want to have your music listened to, you put it out loud. It takes a different mindset to make something quiet, to have dynamics. Because just like being the loudest person in the room, you don't get noticed as much. But you'll always find a subset, a group of people who care about how it sounds. And those people are going to appreciate the dynamics. It's what we do at Octave Records. We focus on dynamics. I want soft, and then I want loud, and then soft again. And we like dynamics. We don't do a lot of loud stuff. We don't use compression because we're not trying to appeal to that crowd. We're not trying to attract whatever people are trying to attract when they are loud and jumping up and down, right? So no, unfortunately, it hasn't gone away. But don't blame streaming. It has nothing to do with streaming. It's just today, There's so much noise. We just went through a political campaign, and only the loudest voices get heard. And that's a shame, but here we are. It's what we got. Okay. Thanks. Bye.